Week 13 of the USL Super League brings us to Charlotte, North Carolina, an American Legion Memorial Stadium, where Carolina Ascent FC welcomes Spokane Zephyr FC to town. Tonight's match and Salute to Service Night is presented by Nucor, live on Peacock alongside Casey White. Jack Edwards here with you. Also have Anna Whitty with us in a moment. A&J Winery bringing you the standings here today. Carolina unbeaten through 10 with 5 wins, 5 draws. Spokane 9 points through 9 games.
Although we're getting to a third of the way through the season, 3 points would still do a lot for Spokane Zephyr, throwing them up into 4th place with the Tampa Bay Sun, but they're going to have to do it on the road, and that's definitely the form they're going to be looking for. 2
wins this year, both of those coming at home. It's going to be a lot of road tests to close out the calendar year.
It is going to be, and they've been able to figure out how to score goals, but not necessarily close out games. Going into DC, being able to come out of that with a 2-2 draw. Not a bad result at the beginning of the season, but as the season goes on, they're going to have to figure that out. How do they stop other teams from scoring goals on them and really just tighten things up offensively?
A lot of travel coming up, traveling across time zones across the country. Big challenges for Spokane to learn, trying to get a first win for the club here today against a really strong Carolina team defensively. Super strong, Casey.
Well, we know that they can score goals, but what I like is that conversion rate, the 17%, 90 shots taken, which is under the average of the rest of the league, but they have the premier goalkeeping as well to get the clean sheets and only 6 goals conceded.
Let's join the third member of our crew, Anna Whitty, who is with tonight's Player to Watch, presented by Food Lion, Jill Aguilera.
Thanks, Jack. Jill, you're playing in a little bit of a deeper role as this season goes on that back line. How has that tested you as a footballer?
I think I'm just doing whatever the team needs me to do, learning from my coaches, the positioning that I need, looking at different types of film. I'm not necessarily sure it's too different from playing the 11. Obviously, it's definitely more defensive, but I still like to get in the attack and help the attack and score some goals.
Getting in the attack is something that your team has been so good at. You're undefeated 10 matches into the season. Why has your team been able to stay so consistently sharp?
I think it has everything to do with our culture and the way that we get along with each other and off the field. I mean, we work really hard together, and Coach Phillip has done a really great job in instilling a lot of responsibility and accountability within the team, and we always just want to get one step better every single day. There is no end to the mountaintop that we're trying to climb.
Thanks, Jill. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
A team leading 4 goal contributions on the season for Jill Aguilera, looking to keep Carolina unbeaten this season. But can Spokane pull off an upset for a first road win in club history? It all kicks off on the other side of this break. Ascent FC, Zephyr FC, coming up next.
New flavors, the same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador, spiked bebidas.
Once the game kicks off, the hype doesn't matter anymore. Your follower count means nothing. Your resume is irrelevant. What matters is the moment, the game, the crest on the front of your jersey, the people you play for. Are you going to make history? Are you going to save the day? Are you going to score a hat trick, break some ankles, or give a kid the thrill of a lifetime? This is what the movement is all about. These moments that matter. The USL Super League.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yeah, tricked. I said what I said. I don't care. I picked town red.
If you can survive this, it's going to make the whole story that much better.
The bright horses have broken free from the fields.
Tonight's match and Salute to Service Night is presented by Nucor. Nucor Corporation is the safest, highest quality, lowest cost, most productive, and most profitable steel and steel products company in the world. Nucor is the official sponsor of the Carolina Ascent FC. Carolina Ascent, Spokane Zephyr. Tonight starting lineups presented by Capelli. First off for the home side, Giovanna DeMarco coming in for Ine Guion, the only change.
And she'll be in that center of midfield in the 4-3-3. Look for her to be a little bit deeper, and she'll control that with Porter and Riley Baisden as well. But watch for the front three up top. Ashlyn Sorepka, Mia Corbin, and Jada Bedoya. Those three interchange a lot and create a lot going forward.
Carolina coming off a 1-0 win at DC Power. Last time out looking to keep the unbeaten streak going. That's the 4-3-3 shape for Philip Poole. Now for Spokane, the visitors, one change for them as well. Jenny Vetter coming out, back from international duty, Amina Ekic.
And how excited they must be to have Amina Ekic back in the lineup off that left side in partnership with Jaskinik and Vigiano up top. Jaskinik is going to play a huge role in that center forward position. But also on the flip side, Clark and Cummings, their center back pairing is going to be essential with Hope Heisey and goal behind them to keep Carolina off the boards.
They're coming off a 1-0 defeat at Brooklyn FC in their last match. Spokane are looking to try and get a first road victory in club history. We now take a look at tonight's keys to the game presented by Botero Carts. Casey for the two sides here.
For the home side of Carolina Ascent, the efficiency in the final third and the variety with which they attack. Can they really execute the details? If they lose possession, the counter press is going to be important, because for Spokane, it's going to be about counter-attacking transition. When they win the ball, can they go forward and take care of Carolina in their expansive shape? And lastly, whichever team dominates the 18s is going to probably win this game. Spokane, it's more necessary for on the road.
Eric Tattersall, our head official for tonight's match. Carolina and their smattering of orange, purple, and blue kits. As for Spokane, the white tops. They'll be heading from left to right. The visitors will across your screen. Alongside Casey White, Anna Whitty on the sideline, I'm Jack Edwards. A pleasure to have you with us this evening on Peacock. We have our first whistle, our first kick. The Carolina Ascent begin our match heading from right to left. We talked about it in the open. A lot of road matches coming up for Spokane. Coming in a few days back into the Charlotte area, getting acclimated to that time change, learning as they're going. It's the third road match now in club history, beginning against Brooklyn last time out, or DC Power, I should say, last time out. A long road stretch for Spokane.
And that can be really difficult. And there's a lot of different trains of thought of how to approach road games. Do you come in the exact same way as home, or do you settle into the game, give yourself some time? So we'll see what Spokane decides to do here, but figuring out the road form for them is going to be essential during this stretch.
Almer pushes that along. Strong challenge in the top of the box. Carolina surviving the first foray up the field from the visiting side. That one's rolled forward. Hope Heisey. Again, given the starting nod for a third successive match in between the sticks for Spokane. Take a look now at tonight's injury report presented by Novant Health. The big one to watch out for there. A big loss for the Spokane side with Mackenzie Weinert not available.
And she's someone who really operates well in the wide spaces, and that's where they like to go. They don't like to necessarily invert their winger, so that is a big loss for them. And so Vigiano is going to be really important off that right side and what she can bring to their attack.
No Weinert with an ankle injury she sustained a couple weeks back. Mina Ekic returning to the lineup, so they've got a little bit of firepower returning. Ekic with 2 goals, 2 assists on the season. Marley Canales down off the ball after a challenge. A little slow to get up, and Eric Tattersall will stop play and allow her a moment to collect herself. Philip Poole looking on. His Carolina side through 10 games, unbeaten. In his words, you know, not talking about that unbeaten streak, but in his perspective, even if you focus on the unbeaten streak, it still is game to game to keep it going.
And anyone that knows Philip Poole, he's very even-keeled. He keeps it together, keeps his composure, and I think his team reflects that. They go through a lot of different things, but they just really understand who they are, and they're continuing to grow in that way. But you're right, it's hard to focus on that unbeaten streak. You just have to keep your players thinking about what's next, what's our next evolution, and those results then take care of themselves.
Drop ball for Megan McClelland. League leading 5 clean sheets. even-keeled, a very good way to describe this Carolina side. Conceded just 6 goals this season, very hard to break down. And you mentioned in those keys for Spokane, just dominating the 18s. Big focus to Jo Johnson. We talked to her ahead of the match as well on the Zephyr front.
And that was a big part of what she said, is they're getting better between the penalty areas, in their build-up, how they build up, how they defend in the mid-block, all of those things. But it's the little details of the final thirds on each end that she really wants them to focus on here this evening.
Sydney Studer playing it back to McClelland. Well off her line to offer her services in the build-up. Bruce to McClelland, back to Studer. It's poked away from Sarepka, one back by Spokane.
And it was really good defensive shape there from Spokane. We see them in a 4-1-4-1, and Almer is going to play a big role in stepping on Sarepka when she drops into midfield.
It's left, breaks all the way for Basin. Low shot dragged just wide, but the first effort for either side goes just wide.
Well, and the counter-attacking transition goes the opposite way on this one. We expect it from Spokane, but Carolina can do it just as well. Long ball from Jill Aguilera. That's your left back. Really heads-up play from Sarepka to let it go, and then immediately getting forward. Carolina Ascent goes out of their 4-4-2 defensive shape into that counter-attack so well in the wide spaces.
Saw it right there, that really fast verticality, getting it up the field, and they win this ball back. Some options for DeMarco, rolls it out. Josie Studer does get on the end of it. Studer, first delivery blocked, has it at the corner flag. Baisden loses out. Back with the Ascent. Talked to Jill Aguilera pre-match in this left back role now. Goal, 3 assists on the season so far. Receives it again, plays this one centrally for Megan McClelland.
And one of the things that's really nice about Jill Aguilera and the modern game, it fits her because the outside backs are asked to go forward. They're asked to be attacking-minded individuals. So when you slide her back from that 11 position a little higher up, it's not a whole lot of change. It's just your starting position. And so she's brought a lot to this team, not only defensively, but joining the attack and getting forward, creating chances.
Both Aguilera, Mia Corbin, been some very versatile pieces for Phillip Poole to play around with. Both teams, again, 10 matches in for Carolina, 9 matches in for Spokane. It's number 11, number 10 on the season now, still figuring out a lot of things as a club, and a lot of that is your best personnel and the best way to play them out on the field.
And Phillip Poole even said that. He said, you know, everyone, to be fair, is figuring it out. They are, and they've had a great start. But every time they play a team for a second time or a little further into the season, you see some type of evolution of that team as they continue to grow.
And this is a second meeting of 2024 for Carolina taking on Spokane. Previous meeting back on September 15th was a 2-0 win for Carolina on the road. Mia Corbin, Sydney Studer, the 2 goal scorers. A pair of first half goals, enough to get the 3 points on that occasion. Good work near side, Valorant working up against a few in Carolina colors. Strong challenge put in, one back by the Ascent. Rolled back. DeMarco will let McClelland take over. Pass probed forward. Asking questions of Sydney Cummings, but plays it back to Heisey. Sarah Clark. Good press from Baisden.
And this is a moment where they do decide to press. You're exactly right. The cues were very good. Coming from Hope Heisey, it was a little ball that was under hit. And so Riley Baisden choosing to step and then tracking that ball. You may not win it the first time or the second time, but the third time is just as essential, and it starts their possession back over.
Aguilera over the top, running onto it. Bedoya. Good work, though, by Heisey coming off her line. Gets low. Brave goalkeeping and a third start now consecutively for Heisey. Jo Johnson leading Zephyr FC opting for that switch in goalkeepers. Likes High C's strength, claiming the ball in the air, the range of passing she has for their build-up play. Had a great collegiate career at Arizona, High C did, from 2019 to 2023. 87 appearances across that time. Izzy Nino got the nod for the first 7 matches. Imagine that's a discussion point for the rest of the campaign. Good strength from Aguilera. It is going to be a free kick going her way.
And you mentioned that about Hope Heisey and the goalkeeping. They just make each other stronger and better, which makes this team better. And so that competition in goal, really important. And even being a field player or a goalkeeper, it's about form and who's in the best form, and you go with that, and that can change over time.
Aguilera in a brief discussion with Eric Tattersall after that foul against her.
If I was Jill Aguilera in that moment, I'd be a little frustrated, but I also, as long as it went, she finally got away from it, so she was going forward. So I don't know exactly what she's discussing, but as a player, I would have said, let me go if you're not going to call it right away.
Great switch, swings this one to the far side. Bedoya from distance. Another effort there from Basin, rather.
And again, the change of point is really working right now and finding the other side. It's Jill Aguilera again, finding it all the way across, just not organized. Basin looks like she wants to go to goal every time she gets the ball. She takes 2 prep touches, goes right for it, just goes a little over, but right now, Spokane's gonna have to figure out how to just deny that change of point.
That switch from left to right has been used very frequently. McClelland. Spokane putting some pressure on the ball. Aguilera lifts up this pass, opens up a bit of pressure. Good first touch, though, to push it into the midfield away from the danger area. All the way back now, Cindy Cummings is back with Zephyr.
And that recovery from Almer, it seems like a small thing, just coming back and winning the ball as the 6, the holding midfielder, but that allows Spokane to enjoy some of this possession going forward.
Valorant. Near side, Vigiano into the box. Well-measured pass, it's cleared up and away, pushed out. It's going to be the first corner of the match for either side, going Spokane's way.
Really good build-up play in the wide channel there when Vigiano was able to get that cross off. That could be something that could be really important for them. It's something Joe Johnson talked about. Can they expose the wide areas and get efficient crosses in?
Corner kick brought to you by Newport.
No shots yet for Spokane, a chance to change that. Mina Ekic, returning from international duty with Bosnia and Herzegovina. In-swinging left-footed corner. Going towards the back post, pushed up and away by Carolina. Strong header away. Well dealt with. The threat from that corner opportunity is gone. Canales nodding the header down. Clipped into the channel for Vigiano. She'll see that one out of play. Wants a corner kick. Will get the corner kick. Natalie Vigiano. It's now 2 corners in quick succession for the visiting side.
And again, it's down that wide channel. That what they're doing is they're pinning the center back central so they can't rotate out to defend it. And right now it's working for Spokane.
First corner deep from Ekic. She'll get a second crack at this. Ekic. That was dangerous. McClelland pushes it away. Still in the box. The crack towards goal. Just wide. It's a goal kick. Dangerous from Spokane with their first shot.
And that was really great box organization. Love this ball. It forces a save from McClelland. Really well done. Goes to the back post area, and then Almer's almost able to get this on. She actually hits it quite well. It's that challenge right there that gives her the availability to shoot, and Almer does really well to try to get to that back post. Just a near miss.
Good press again from Spokane. Moves centrally. Murray plays it forward. Important challenge put in by Porter. But again, falls the way of Murray. Clever first touch to lay it off for Ekic. Into the 18, bit of good footwork. Goes down. She wanted a penalty, just a goal kick here.
And that'll be another
In the
goal
aftermath
kick,
of both
Carolina
Hurricanes
Ascent.
Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastation the storm left behind. To learn how you can get involved, scan the QR code or visit www.uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to resources they need to recover. Spokane throw in. After two solid chances for Carolina, Spokane growing into the game in these last couple moments.
A big piece of that is their center midfield play. Almer is on the ball. Murray is breaking up tackles. Canales breaking up tackles. So doing that aids in their possession because they're able to pick it off in the middle third, which allows them to be in their attacking half quickly.
Clark carrying it forward. Corbin gets a foot in, blocks the pass, lays that pass forward, a little overhit, aiming for DeMarco. Press almost paying off for Carolina on that instance. Corbin, the pass is too heavy.
And that'll be a goal kick, Spokane Zephyr FC.
And now this is one of the first times we're really seeing Carolina in their defensive shape in the 4-4-2 and Baisden kind of in that wide channel. This is set up to really allow teams to go around the outside. They want to keep everything really locked down centrally, the Ascent, and force them into these wide channels, and that's where they can press.
Cummings to Valorant. Rolls this one again. This right-hand side proving the best avenue of attack for Spokane into the box. Jaskinik, hold up play, moved out of the 18-yard box. Almer offering an option. Jaskinik clips it into the area. McClellan claims. Solid hold-up play there from Emma Jaskinik, a player that's been moved into that center forward role by Joe Johnson out of necessity, some injuries elsewhere, trying to get her back where she played in her collegiate days.
As hard as that is, that's sometimes where the best opportunities come from. You just get that moment to be able to play, and she showed that she can have that hold-up play. And Joe Johnson, the head coach, said, we need our center forward to hold the ball and have that post-up play so we can expose the wide areas. And she's doing really well at that and filling that role. That's going to be essential today.
Swung across, far side. Again, Baisden in the attack for Carolina. Trying the 1-2, back to Baisden, to the back post. It's overhit slightly. Mia Corbin can try and keep this one in play. Will do so successfully with a really good ball into the midfield for Porter. Aguilera offering the option. She'll offer the delivery too. Not fully dealt with. It bounces in the 18 and it's put over the goal. Bedoya, it fell for her, head in her hands.
And this is where you see some hesitancy from Hope Heisey in this moment. Porter decides to recycle play, keep the ball, and then Jill Aguilera with that left foot, that's the foot you got to shut down. Puts it into an area that a goalkeeper, if they're going to come, has to get something on it. And Bedoya really just needs to tap that. You just have to beat the on-rushing players, not put too much power on it, but instead hits it right over.
Half chance there for Carolina, unable to pull it off. Win it back in the middle third and move into the attacking third. Dangerous delivery, this time claimed by Heisey.
Well, there's been an evolution with Carolina Ascent throughout the first part of this season. They're a team that certainly can possess the ball, but they want to do it and penetrate forward. And it does feel that way. Whenever they do get into the final third, you always think that there might be a goal opportunity coming. They're very efficient with being dangerous when they do have the ball. They're always looking to break lines.
Throw in for Carolina. 4-1, they lead the shot margin through 17 minutes. Aguilera, McClelland, playing as a third center back almost in this build-up, very high up the field.
And this is where you could really see how Carolina likes to play. They leave DeMarco and Porter there as those two holding midfielders and get 4 along the back line. That's where they have to be careful in transition. And Spokane talked about, can they counterattack in it? But if you can't win the ball with this type of possession, it's very difficult to do.
Space to drive into for Bruce. Corbin lays it off. Low delivery, right across the box, and it's tapped home. Offside flag, though, will go up. The joy cut short. Lights dipping in and out. So close to the opener, but the assistant on the far side cutting off that joy.
I'm going to be honest, just the angle of that pass, I don't know how she would have been below and offside on that moment, but it's very, very difficult to tell. That's an incredible goal, if not for that offside call.
So it is offsides. You can see the home crowd is beginning to learn that, make that relevation.
And if it is offside, it is like a dip of a shoulder or a foot, and it is a little bit hard to tell. It's her right foot with the right foot of the defender, Valoran, but when it's hit, man, from this angle, it does not look offside. But they're going to take a look at it, and it looks like they are going to stay with that call, but I don't know. I mean, that is incredibly close.
Best angle in the house was probably that assistant on the far side.
You're right.
Looking right across that back line, and in the end, making the incredibly close call to say no goal for Carolina, still 0-0. It's a free kick for the Ascent in midfield.
Our eyes can always deceive us, that's for sure.
Always tough with the angles, the way it shoots with that attacking third, but with the Lions on the field, it looked incredibly, incredibly close. But the attacking move there from Carolina was exceptional.
Well, it's encouraging for the Ascent because they play that penetrative ball into Mia Corbin.
Yes.
And she comes off the line. They have 4 players attacking across the 4-back of Spokane. That draws players central, and then it releases Riley Baisden. That's really been their method of play in this first half so far that's been effective.
Free kick delivery into the box, pushed down, not fully gone. The shot deflected along the way, having to go Riley Baisden. Results in a corner kick now. First of the match for the home side. Maybe a team that feels a little aggrieved after getting that goal disallowed. Another Carolina corner kick brought to you by Nucor. It's going to be Aguilera going to the far side, all for that in-swinging delivery. Aguilera, corner, into the 6-yard box, headed away. Ekic able to push it further. Sarepka attempting the pass. It's turned over. One to chase for Ekic. The flag will go up. It's offsides. Free kick now for Carolina. Looking to be a part of history in the Carolinas this inaugural season, but missed your chance at season tickets? You can check out the Carolina Ascent prorated season tickets starting at just $12 per game. Visit carolinaascent.com/tickets to learn more. Aguilera restarts play. Chance the ball forward. No call from Tattersall. Ekic lays it off.
And that's really well worked by Spokane Zephyr FC because there's a lot of pressure. You can see where Carolina Ascent's trying to trap them, and it's that back-to-goal play from Ekic that allows them to keep possession.
Ball over the top. It's laid back first time by Aguilera to McClelland. McClelland. Studer. Good pass clipped out. Josie Studer. Step over successful. Corbin lays it off. Strong challenge put in. It is going to be a free kick now for Spokane. Well, we've seen Amina Ekic get more and more involved in the game. For more on international players returning for Spokane, here's Anna Whitty.
Spokane had 3 international players in Amina Ekic, Sophia Braun, and Riley Tanner out the last few games. Coach Johnson says it's really nice to have them back, not just because they add to the attack, but they also add depth. Weinar has also been struggling with injuries on this Spokane side. They haven't been able to create consistency when it comes to creating Ekic, a player in the wide areas who really feeds their balls into the attack and allows them to get counterattack opportunities as well.
Honestly, that's so important to be able to do that, to reintegrate players back in. You can see that Spokane's trying to figure that out, still working with getting them back in the play.
Here is Ekic. Step overs into the 18 at the end line. Fires it back in. It's pushed away. It's going to be a free kick going against Spokane, but good insight there from Anna. It's been a challenge these last 2 games for Spokane. Got the 1-0 win at home over Tampa Bay. 1-0 defeat at Brooklyn last time out. Ekic and Weinar both coming out, really impacting the flow for this team.
But even that result against Brooklyn, a 1-0 narrow defeat on the road, they're still playing well. They're still doing some really good things. It's just getting that consistency of play and partnerships, units, all of that is so important across an entire season. And so they'll deal with that as that continues to go and start to really make sure those partnerships are comfortable with one another.
Spokane building up. Good challenge put in. Important intervention from Cummings to make sure that Carolina did not have a free run towards goal. Dragged back by Murray. Ekic to Murray. "25 minutes down. American Legion Memorial Stadium. It's turned over. Poor pass picked up now. Bedoya skips past one challenge. Bedoya trying to get it in the box. Smith hits her cross. Out of play now for a goal kick. Well, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of NC is the official health insurance provider of the Carolina Ascent FC. Blue Cross NC makes health insurance easy. Discover employer, individual, family, Medicare, and Medicaid plans from Blue Cross NC. Better care starts here.
And right now, Spokane's really struggling with the pressing of the Carolina Ascent. And a foul is called on that, just some aggressive stepping there from Porter. But that's what's actually aiding the Ascent right now, is they're stepping really high. What I think we need to see from Spokane is getting their outside backs a little bit higher. That will help them in possession. This is the aggressive type of play that they're using in their press. Vigiano draws this foul. And those players in the wide areas are going to be important to help beat that pressure.
Taylor Porter whistled for the free kick there, one of the more experienced players on this Carolina side. Bedoya gets a foot in, but it squirms only for a white jersey. Over the top, aiming for Ekic. She gets there. One option in the box with her, trying the low ball. Back to Ekic. Surveying it, lays it off. First time, parried away by McClelland. Out for a corner. Amina Ekic cooking some things up.
And just like I said on the flip side, Carolina Ascent looking aggressive in their final third. It's Amina Ekic on this side, which is expected. Really good in the 1v1, looking for a player across, but the retreating of the back line of Carolina Ascent makes it hard. Eventually joining the attack from the midfield is Almer, and coming in for this opportunity. That trailing run, very important, and McClelland does well to keep it out.
Marley Canales tasked with this corner. Wants more space for this in-swinging delivery. Canales. High arcing ball headed away by Corbin. Ekic brings it down and plays it to Murray. Almer, dangerous to the back post. Oh, it's headed down. It's a chance there. nodded just wide in the end. Haley Thomas in a great spot to try and put that one towards goal. It's a goal kick.
And it looked like Cummings almost threw her off, went right in front of her own player and backline partner, jumps and throws off that setting a little bit, but it's still good opportunity.
See the stats, top left of your screen. As we see a chance here, Jaskinek trying to find Ekic. She goes down under the challenge. It's clean, says the referee. Risky at the edge of that 18-yard box. It's still with Spokane in the attack. Low ball. It's a good one in the end. Top of the box, the shot goes just wide, not far away at all from Julianne Valorant.
But I like this from Julianne Valorant. She goes up. I think that's what they need. They need their outside backs to involve in the attack, even if it means inverted. Vigiano plays this initial cross. Valorant finds herself at the top of the box and doesn't put a second thought on it. She just goes, I'm going to go for goal with that left foot. That upends the way that Carolina is defending when they bring more numbers forward.
Spins out of play. It'll be a Carolina throw in. Well, the Carolina Ascent online storefront is live. Stock up for our next match on scarves, shirts, custom jerseys, and more. To shop, visit carolinaascent.myshopify.com. Half an hour gone. Best chance of the match going the way of Jada Bedoya. Put it in the back of the net. Assistant referee on the far side of the field said offsides. It is still 0-0 between these two teams in the second meeting of the season so far. Throw in now for Spokane after the press pays off. Some good one-touch passing. And they work their way out of the press, Carolina do. Josie Studer carrying it into the attacking third. Studer. Three options in the box, goes down under the challenge. In the end, it's good defensive work done, despite her frustrations. It's a goal kick for Spokane.
What we're starting to see throughout this portion of the season from the Ascent is their ability to move in and out of spaces and interchange. Riley Basin coming all the way into an attacking midfield role. That's incredibly hard to read as a defensive unit and keep your compact shape, and it's the technique and all of that, but it's the movement for me in their possession that's been really good.
Heisey plays it forward. Jaskinek will earn the free kick. Classic center forward play. Doesn't quite get on the ball, but earns the free kick. Porter whistled. First time forward by Clark. It's a good pass. Picks out Murray in the midfield. Bit of space to drive into between the lines. Ekic. Here's Thomas. Trying to slide that forward for Murray, but it's back now with Ekic. Good challenge put in. Diligent from DeMarco.
And what we're seeing right now, Jack, honestly, is a middle third battle of the central midfielders. We saw that little ball over DeMarco's head to get Murray going forward. DeMarco and Porter look to jump and press. So that ball to break lines could be really helpful for Spokane Zephyr. And on the flip side, you're seeing Corbin and Sarepka check into the sides of Almer. There's only one holding mid for Spokane. So I think that battle, whoever can win it, is going to be important.
Spokane committing numbers forward in the press. That ball over the top, can't quite find Corbin. And it's all the way back now to Heisey. Scuffed pass. It's now with Carolina in the attack. Sarepka lays it off. Bedoya plays it. Aguilera into the area. Icy claims under the challenge from Mia Corbin.
And all that starts from a turnover in midfield in that central area. They find that ball in Ashlyn Sarepka's feet. But I like Jill Aguilera just always looking to cross and have an impact to put it into the box.
Good work from Thomas to evade that challenge. Dummy comes off brilliantly. Murray's pass turned over to Sarepka. Other side able to get a ton of settled possession. Aguilera, after turning it over, will press, commit the free kick and the foul. It's going the way of Spokane. Join the Carolina Ascent on Saturday, November 23rd for Small Business Saturday Vendor Village and Food Drive. Our Trailblazers are back at home and will take the pitch against Dallas Trinity FC for the fall home finale. Lock in your seats and get your own Carolina Ascent beanie. Visit carolinaascent.com/tickets to get your tickets today. 3 games left in this fall season for Carolina. 1 at home, that match against Dallas. 2 on the road. We've mentioned it a few times. 4 remaining games for Spokane, all 4 on the road. They head to Lexington immediately after this match on Sunday. Great footwork. Bedoya skips past one challenge. Can't quite pick out an option in the 18. Jaskinek holding up play. It's slipped forward for Canales. It's going to be a free kick going against Bedoya. "34 minutes down here, Casey. Who do you think of the 2 coaches are the happier at this point?
I think Joe Johnson looks happier currently just because of the foul that was called, but I think from a form perspective, I think both of these coaches can be pretty happy at this point. For head coach Joe Johnson of Spokane, I think the defending the box in the final third, we just saw it on the last sequence of play, has been really good. 5 or 6 players in the box, good player-to-player marking, and has also built into the game in possession. And for Carolina Ascent, this looks like Carolina Ascent in my opinion. They possess really well, they press out of a good, compact defensive shape, and they look dangerous. They haven't gotten as many opportunities in the final third, but it's still been good so far.
Canales, stretching play, delivery into the box. It falls on the 18. Chance still alive here. The shot, it's actually going to be a free kick. It may have been a collision of heads that catches the referee's attention.
And Katie Murray's joining into the box, and that's who's whistled for the foul, but it's Canales who gets into this wide area. This original challenge is her own player, Sydney Studer, right in front. Katie Murray keeps it alive, and then going over the top was Vigiano.
First it was Sydney Studer who was down, a little slow to get up. Then Megan McClelland, a little slow to get up as well, but she's moving around. Both goalkeeper and center back move in. It is that nightmare scenario that you put that ball in the corridor of uncertainty. Goalkeeper collides with center back. Ball almost falls kindly, but
there has to be more communication right there, because if you're going to go for that as a goalkeeper, your defender has to know to get out of there, and so you can protect them.
Bedoya has the run of Aguilera, picks her out. Jill Aguilera, space to drive into, options alongside her. Moves it along. Baisden, first time in the box. Sarepka, shot blocked. Easy in the end for Heisey.
And the Ascent looks really smooth in possession. When they do get forward, they just look in control, composed. Jill Aguilera cuts inside, finds the ball in here. Look at this one-touch ball into Sarepka's feet. But I'll be honest with you, that's also great defending from Clark. She keeps her composure, cuts the angle on Sarepka, and makes sure that there's no good opportunity on frame.
First time pass from Corbin, swings it across to Studer. Baisden able to take over. Chance here potentially, but McClelland able to spare any blushes for Carolina. Aguilera again. Trying with that wand of a left foot. It's a pass over the top. Doesn't quite come off. Flag stays down. Jaskinek, an option. Squares it. Ekic. Oh, off the upright. Hits the crossbar and goes away. Spokane, the closest they've come to scoring. You thought the flag would go up. It didn't. and it's still 0-0.
We saw some frustration from Philip Poole earlier. I think we would have seen it there if it had gone in, but a great opportunity, and that's one of those you've got to put away. You have to keep that low in that moment because it's basically one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
It almost looks like Emma Jaskinek was holding her run saying, this is too good to be true, isn't it? I'm over the top.
She took a little peek over the shoulder.
Flag stayed down. It was a good ball. And Amina Ekic will want that one back. That shot striking the crossbar. It's now both teams with, don't want to say controversial, but obviously the offside goal for Carolina disallowed. That chance right there, the best, striking the crossbar. It's laid forward for Jaskinek. One-on-one. Jaskinek, hits the post. In rapid succession, first the crossbar, then the right post. Emma Jaskinek.
This was the first opportunity right here, Jack. It was Jaskinek, and she's been all over the place. She's looking, takes a peek, notice she's onside. Ekic goes right for it, but too much power, not enough precision. And then again, this little ball in behind from Valorant is great. Jaskinek uses her body well, no foul for me. And McClellan cuts the angle really well here. She could have taken it inside, instead decides to go right and hits the post.
Mina Ekic into the near post. Too much bend on it, and it's out immediately. It's a goal kick. Those in Carolina colors can take a deep breath. Well, Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. I asked you a few moments ago who's the happier of the two coaches. Now I don't know if Joe Johnson's happy with the chances created or frustrated with the chances missed.
Chance creation is always a good sign, but you do want to be efficient with it. But they are building themselves into the game. But Carolina is used to that at times. They've withstood that from other opponents. So Spokane's really going to have to stay switched on here.
DeMarco. Baisden. Lead centrally. Chance, top of the box again, just over the bar.
Porter's shot is high. Goal kick. Spokane Zephyr.
DeMarco fighting for this one. Good challenge, it's one back. Jaskinek, heavily involved in these last opportunities, trying this one over the top, overhit. Go all the way through for a goal kick. Well, Food Lion and Carolina Ascent are partnering to fight food insecurity across the Carolinas. All goals made throughout the inaugural season will provide meals to benefit Second Harvest Food Bank of Metrolina through its hunger relief platform. Through the initiative known as Score to Give More, Food Lion Feeds will help provide 1,000 meals for every goal the team makes in home and away games. Food Lion is the official grocer partner of the Carolina Ascent Football Club. Good challenge put in. In the end, Vicky Bruce can just put a right foot through it, knock it upfield.
I think what we're seeing from Spokane is they're just trying to play with a few more players higher up the field and make Carolina uncomfortable.
Far side, Mina Ekic. Two in the box as options. Pushed down away by Studer. Almer, forward, back to Almer. Jaskinek, 1-2 there, doesn't quite come off. That's a free kick for a foul from behind by Spokane. It's a free kick now for Carolina. Out of town score brought to you by Nucor. Lexington up 1-0 over Dallas. Maddie Parsons continues her hot form, lone goal in that match in Lexington.
And that's big for them, not only to have the goal from from her, but also the fact that she's in such great form, being the October Player of the Month, 2 goals, 2 assists. She just keeps going and keeps providing for Lexington, and that's going to be really big as they look to climb up the standings.
Any Duke Energy employees, if you are participating in tonight's halftime ceremonies, please report to the Gatorade Tower at the top of section 101.
We're seeing Katie Murray get a little higher on the back line for Spokane. That's what's been happening, and it makes them more uncomfortable because it's 4 against 4 at the back, and I think that's really changed things for Spokane going forward.
Heisey under the press from Corbin. Boxes in. Ekich brings it down, bounces between them, pinballing, last touching Ekich to throw in for Carolina Ascent. Fighting to keep that in play. Ekich slides it back. Corbin gets there first. Mia Corbin. Bruce. Aguilera. On the turn. Bedoya surrounded by 2. Loses out. Trying to keep this one in the mix. Heavy pass, trying to build out from the back. Referee letting play continue, no foul. DeMarco trying to keep the press moving forward. Studer joining as well, bounces out, it's a throw in now. Final moments of our first 45. 1 minute of stoppage time. First half stoppage brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. Stunningly, Casey, it's still 0-0 in our match right now. Some great chances for both sides. Some striking the woodwork, others disallowed.
I think in some ways, these teams are going to be happy with how they've played, and then in some ways they're going to go, we could be up 1-0.
Yeah.
Both teams could say that, and that's what's really exciting about what we're going to see in the second half is what adjustments are made, or is it really just an efficiency piece in the final third?
Bedoya. There was a slight tug of her jersey. It's going to be a free kick in the final seconds of the first half. See if the Ascent want to push numbers forward or just try and build out for maybe one last attack. Aguilera will be over it regardless. Aguilera forward. It's allowed to bounce and make its way to the far side. Corbin brings it down in the box, lays it off. Baisden. Corbin, dangerous effort with the left-footed shot. Going just wide of goal. There's a glance at the watch from Eric Tattersall. Maybe a few seconds more. That will do it for our first 45. What a half it was, Casey. 0-0 between the sides, but no shortage of chances to make a goal in this match.
Yeah, I think they're both kind of filling each other out, but not doing it just as a chess match. They're trying to still go and create chances. I think for Carolina, get on the side of Taylor Almer. Those are the spaces where they can really make the back line uncomfortable and have to make decisions. And if you're Spokane, find Emma Jaskinek up top. Everything's been really dangerous through her.
Emma Jaskinek, 1 goal through 8 games on this season. Dangerous in the first 45 minutes. Up to this point, Carolina out-shooting Spokane 8-6. And what proved to be a thoroughly entertaining first half. The closest Carolina came to scoring, Jada Bedoya with that disallowed goal. Shots that hit the crossbar from Amina Ekich and the upright as well from Emma Jaskinek in those first 45 minutes. Let's go down pitch side. Anna Whitty is with Giovanna DeMarco.
Giovanna, it's been quite the battle in the midfield. How do you look for opportunities to exploit them centrally?
I think we just got to see what pockets are opening up, depending on the formation that they're giving us. We're doing well in those pockets. We just got to be a little bit more composed and making sure we're really sure about those split passes into our second third and our final third.
The split passes have been something Spokane is trying to do. They're looking to go out and transition. What does that open up for you guys in the attacking third?
I mean, I think it gives us, they're doing a great job making runs in behind and really testing our line. But that being said, if we win those balls, we're in a spot to have good numbers forward, and we're just going to continue to be patient in our final third and pull the ball back around if we need to, and look for the right chances.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
DeMarco and Carolina still scoreless in this match against Spokane. What a first 45 minutes, though, it was between these two sides. Some content from around the league, as well as those first half highlights, will come up during halftime. But our score at the break, it's Carolina 0, Spokane 0, presented by Nucor.
How do you make a sustainable impact? You do it at industrial scale. You use clean energy to make circular, low-emission steel. You help automakers and energy producers reduce carbon impact. And builders rise to meet sustainability goals. Nucor, made for good.
Today.
I am?
Mm-hmm. Come on.
My sister loves volunteering with her coworkers.
Heads up.
I asked her why she likes it so much.
This is my little sister.
She said there's something special about helping out with Food Lion.
Yes, of course. Have a great day.
You get to make people smile.
Here to fill tables and hearts with hope. Food Lion feeds, here for every moment.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, Blue Cross North Carolina is proud of the relationships we've built with you. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. We're here for you, all of you.
What does a better tomorrow look like? More people enjoy safer, more comfortable indoor spaces, clean water, clean air, healthy food, and a healthier planet. That's what Train Technologies believes tomorrow should look like. So we put people and the planet first. Today, we take bold action. So tomorrow, there's a better world. For everyone.
Once the game kicks off, the hype doesn't matter anymore. Your follower count means nothing. Your resume is irrelevant. What matters is the moment, the game, the crest on the front of your jersey, the people you play for. Are you going to make history? Are you going to save the day? Are you going to score a hat trick, break some ankles, or give a kid the thrill of a lifetime? This is what the movement is all about. These moments that matter. The USL Super League.
0-0 between the Carolina Ascent and Spokane Zephyr. Tonight's match and Salute to Service Night is presented by Nucor. Nucor Corporation is the safest, highest quality, lowest cost, most productive, and most profitable steel and steel products company in the world. Nucor is the official sponsor of the Carolina Ascent FC. Scoreless at the break. We can look now at news and notes from across the USL Super League. For Megan McClelland, league leading, 5 clean sheets on the season, keeps that good run going. Sealy Strawn scoring that goal. Some great young players in this league, and Sam Kroger, 50th assist in the league with the 1-0 victory for Brooklyn over Spokane last week. Good work across the league for these news and notes. We can look ahead for these two sides and what comes up for the rest of 2024. We've talked about it ad nauseum with Spokane, those matches on the road, just one more game at home this year for Carolina.
And going on the road to Tampa Bay, that's going to be a challenge for Carolina, but also a really exciting matchup. And then we already spoke about it with Spokane Zephyr FC, 4 in a row on the road after this game to add to their total. But that first one against Lexington, they had a tight one with them recently. That's something they'll really have to focus on coming up.
This upcoming schedule brought to you by Capelli. 3 left in 24 for Carolina, 4 left for Spokane. 45 minutes left in our match here today. It was a thrilling first 45 minutes. On the other side of this break, we can tell you about those first half highlights and check those out between Carolina and Spokane.
Let's hear it for Jonathan Birchfield. Thank you. And once again, let's give a big round of applause for the linemen and women from Duke Energy.
Halftime between Carolina and Spokane, still scoreless. First halftime brought to you by Nucor. Jack Edwards, Casey White, Anna Whitty, all with you here in the broadcast booth. We can look now at our first half highlights. Those match highlights presented by Nucor as well. There were some chances for both sides, Casey. Scoreless, of course, after that first half. 16th minute we'll jump to. It's going to be a good ball into the box here from Jill Aguilera. A bit of chaos caused between center back and goalkeeper, and Jada Bedoya puts it just over.
As you would expect, Carolina started quickly as the home team. Bedoya would get a foot on that one, and then this was some brilliant build-up play. Corbin finds the opposite side run of Riley Baisden to the back post, and it's Bedoya in. A lot of celebration, but this would be called offside. It is incredibly close as Bedoya's on that backside, gets around Valoran, but it would not count.
37th minute now, that was the closest Carolina came to scoring. There were some great chances for Spokane, all of them surrounding Emma Jaskinek. Lays this one off, just put off the crossbar there by Amina Ekic.
And Jaskinek has been very active, playing off the shoulders of the center backs, finds Ekic in this moment, a tough one for the finish, but then looking to go in behind, Valerian, the right back, comes off and penetrates forward. Jaskinek uses her strength to get around, tries to bend it around McClellan, but McClellan does well to block the angle, and it goes off the post.
Almost improbably, it's still scoreless after the first 45 minutes. We've got another 45 minutes coming up after this break between Carolina and Spokane, coming up next on Peacock.
From each Ascent single ticket purchase will go toward hurricane relief efforts. Thank you in advance for your support as we help our neighbors in need. And fans, please help us welcome tonight's groups of the game. Thank you for supporting the growth of women's soccer and attending tonight's match. Want to bring your group out to an upcoming Carolina Ascent home game? Visit CarolinaAscent.com/groups, or you can give us a call at 704-206-1515. We also have a young Ascent fan celebrating her birthday with us this evening. Happy 14th birthday, Ainsley! Ainsley, we are so thrilled that you are celebrating with us here tonight. Happy, happy birthday!
Tonight's match is brought to you by Nucor, Capelli, Novant's Health, Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, and Food Lion. Live at American Legion Memorial Stadium, it's Carolina Ascent FC taking on Spokane Zephyr FC. After 45 minutes, still scoreless. You saw during halftime some good chances for both sides. Some finding the back of the net only to meet referee intervention. Some striking the woodwork. We'll see Casey, Jack Edwards, Casey White, Anna Whitty here in the broadcast booth. It feels unlikely, Casey, this match stays scoreless throughout.
I don't think it will. There's been a lot of opportunities. It's not where every 0-0 half is created equal. This has been one that has definitely had chances in the final third for both teams.
Teams breaking back out onto the field. 8-6 the shot margin, and what was a really closely fought first 45 minutes between these two teams. Asked you in the first half, at halftime, who do you think is the happier of the two teams now after that first 45 minutes, Casey?
I think Spokane is, now that they've generated a couple more opportunities. They'll be a little upset they weren't efficient in those, but early on, Carolina Ascent looked like they were going to really expose the wide areas and the change of point, and Spokane adapted to that, and so I think they'd be happy with it.
Emma Jaskinek in that center circle with the ball. You saw her in those highlights. Created one of the best chances, laying it off for Amina Ekic. Her shot hit the crossbar. Jaskinek hitting the post. Eric Tattersall, our head official, waiting for his signal to get our second 45 minutes underway. From right to left will be Spokane. From left to right, Carolina. White kits for Spokane. Mixture of orange, purple, and blue for Carolina. Spokane building this out from the back to get ourselves underway. Ball aimed forward, will arc out of play. Let's look at the first half stats presented by Nucor. Really close in a lot of these possession shots. Shots on target really narrow.
Really narrow in possession, and shots only a 2-shot discrepancy. And then the final third entries is really what we take a look at as well. 27 for Carolina, 22 for Spokane. And when I'm talking about who might be the more happy, it's because really Spokane on the road is a tough ask.
Baisden clipped towards the back post, aiming for Corbin. Keeps it in play. Chance dealt with, played forward by Murray. Jaskinek. All the way back now to Megan McClelland. Continues to be very difficult to beat, even if you get the ball past her. She's got the support, I guess, right now of the posts and crossbar with her.
This is true. They've gotten in behind the back line twice, Spokane, and the post has really helped them out. The crossbar has really helped them out. But to be fair to McClellan, she did really well to cut the angle on the second opportunity from Jaskinek. So got to give her some credit there as well to give herself an opportunity.
Corbin. Carolina trying to turn their way out of the press quickly. Studer. First time now. Sydney to Josie. Gets past Ekic, Josie Studer does. Delivery into the back post, claimed easily by Hope Heisey. If you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including live matches from the USL Super League. Visit uslsuperleague.com/SiriusXM to view the schedule. Good work to break this one forward by Thomas. Ekic.
And that's smart by Ekic. I like that she chooses to recycle play. They need to enjoy possession as well, and I like that piece of it, of just coming around and enjoying the ball, moving it and circulating it.
Cummings. Valorant. Back again to Sydney Cummings. Moved quickly. Ekic the target. She'll get on the end of this ball. Fakes the left-footed delivery onto the right foot now. Ekic trying to get again onto the left foot to the end line. Studer, good defensive work by the fullback, sees it out for a goal kick.
And that ball was played over the end line. Goal kick. Carolina Ascent.
Studer. Playing this one forward, right along that end line. Sarepka using every inch of the pitch, ends up earning the throw-in.
And she's really good back to goal, and it's something we need to watch throughout this second half because she's been pushed down a little bit in the penalty area a couple times when she's back to goal. Spokane's gonna have to be careful of that because she's really clever in the way she uses her body and draws pressure in and around the penalty area.
That will be a free kick going against Giovanna DeMarco. Well, let's hear now from the third member of our crew, Anna Whitty, caught up with Joe Johnson after halftime.
Coach Johnson said Carolina was creating chances and overloads. That allowed them to use their counterattack opportunities. They really have been working on finishing those opportunities and feel like the next 45 minutes can get the job done. Additionally, Taylor Almer is their quarterback one in the midfield. She brings a ton of composure, and when Almer is on the ball, she allows the team to get forward and takes away the counterattack opportunities for Carolina.
And I think that's exactly what they need to be looking to do, is to get Almer on the ball more and continue to look to go long and direct when possible. That verticality makes Carolina Ascent a little bit uncomfortable.
The throw in now for Carolina. Taylor Almer, team of the month on the bench for October. 2 goals on the season so far through 7 appearances entering the day. Ekic carrying into the midfield, rolls it across. There is that QB1, Almer. It's moved along, driving up Thomas. Can roll this one forward, aiming for Ekic. Coming across though, getting there first was Sydney Studer. Overrunning that touch. It's a throw in, Spokane. Almer, miscommunication there, trying to thread that ball forward, rolls out of play, comes out to be a goal kick. Elevate your game day. Carolina Ascent FC offers a variety of pre-game, halftime, and post-game experiences to take your group outing to the next level. From marching onto the pitch with the pros to a post-game photo on the pitch, we can customize an unforgettable game day experience for you and your group. Visit carolinaascent.com/groups to lock in an unforgettable match day experience.
And something a little bit different from the first half is the way that Spokane is actually pressing. They're trying to get it back in that side channel as the offside flag does come up, but that's what they need to do. They need to look to play that direct ball, but they are winning it in the wide spaces and committing their outside backs a little bit more aggressively forward than we saw in that first half.
Jaskinik very involved. Coming off of a great collegiate career with Wisconsin. 37 goals across 91 appearances. All Big Ten first team back in 2023. Free kick for Carolina as they restart play. Aguilera trying the ball forward. Clark back to Heisey. Another goal in our other Super League match this evening. Shea Moyer with a penalty. Lexington up 2-0 over Dallas. Carolina, as things stands, still unbeaten the season up to this point through 11 games, trying to add to their lead atop the table.
And you can see why, because they just have a very good composure on the ball when they play. This comfortability right here even, it's not technically perfect, but they trust their players, and there's a turnover in their final third, but usually they just don't break. Even if they bend a little bit, they're very composed in the way they play.
Ekic. Murray. Cummings rolls it along. Valorant continues her run after playing that pass up that right-hand side. Forces the clearance with the press to throw in now for Carolina.
And the outside backs are definitely having much more of a role for Spokane Zephyr FC in this second half. It's defensively that they're joining the press of the outside winger plus the strong side center midfielder to make it a 3v3 so they can win the ball, and they're being asked to go forward. That's helping in the wide spaces.
Almer, Ekic moves it onto the right foot, rolls it into the box, just can't quite link up with Katie Murray. You could see the idea.
It was great movement off the ball there as Ekic comes inside. Murray goes a little bit more vertical. Ekic can decide to keep that if she wants with that movement, but better from them getting more numbers forward.
Corbin, Bedoya.
And if they're going to be able to play out of this, they got to have one more movement. Maybe Sarepka comes in behind Corbin to create a 4v3 or a 5v4 because they're putting Almer all the way over there as well. So it's numbers even for the Ascent. They need that extra movement, that second action to get out of those wide channels.
All about having numerical advantages all across the field. Corbin plays that one across to Studer. Gets it away from that very congested midfield that we've seen for the first 10 minutes of the second half. Poked out, throw in for Carolina. Bucket hats, fireworks, stadium blankets, and more. The Carolina Ascent has you covered with giveaways all season long. Guarantee your favorite giveaways and choose 3 matches and 3 games on your schedule your way. For more information about our 3-game mini plans, visit carolinaascent.com/tickets.
I'm in for the bucket hat. I love those things.
Here's Carolina. Baisden fouling her opposite number, Ekic. It's a free kick for Spokane. Offered a beanie in the first half, bucket hat second half.
Beanies too.
A lot of headwear options.
Those actually are my favorite. We'll take a look back at this. Just coming in a little bit aggressively, called right here at the end. Didn't look like a whole lot in it, but there was some contact there, and they did come away with possession, which makes it a little bit easier to call in that moment.
It's one of those fouls where it really makes it hard for the referees not to call it.
Can't really ignore it in that spot. When you're in that, it's almost in the attacking final third in dispossessing. It has to be pretty clean.
Yeah. Bounces out of play. It's going to be a Spokane throw-in. Still waiting for our first goal in the match this evening. Mentioned elsewhere, Lexington 2-0 up on Dallas. All the way through, claimed by McClelland. That result for Lexington, as things stand, catapults them into 5th place. Spokane would jump up a spot into 6th, but that would be with 2 games over Fort Lauderdale, who play tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. As always, matches on Peacock. No nonsense, cleared out by Porter.
And now we're starting to see, as we get a little further into the second half, there's just a really strong battle in the wide channels. Both teams are not figuring out how to get out of there. So one of the things that I think they need to look for is that change of point through the center midfielder.
Bruce does just about enough there.
That was incredibly close, wasn't it?
May have been a foul actually going against Spokane. Bruce in some discomfort, holding that right foot, gingerly getting up.
Well, what happens when she takes that little bit of a mistouch and the press comes, she's reaching and diving, so that leaves you very exposed for a challenge.
Brave challenge from Bruce. In the end, just about enough done defensively. Philip Poole looking on. Still no changes from either side. We'll see how long that persists.
And it was build-up play. Bruce takes a little bit too heavy of a touch. And it looked like, honestly, it didn't look like a lot of, oh, it's that last one right there. I was gonna say the first initial pressure was, her foot was on the ball, she recovers, but it's all those desperation parts of getting your body out there, and then you're not ready to take a tackle like that, and it was a tough one on the top of her right foot.
Bruce moving slowly.
But that ball was also played to Bruce when she wasn't quite ready and opened up. You've got to have the body position of the center back ready to receive, and it was just a little bit premature to play that ball in. Puts her in a bad position.
Ekic gets a foot there. That's going to be a foul as well. Similarly, reaching in, just a step slow, Ashlyn Sarepka this time round. Kept in, well done. Cleared away by Aguilera. Both teams want the throw. Goes the way of Zephyr.
And that's the switch of point, the movement from Riley Baisden to come into that space and receive. That's what Carolina Ascent has to figure out, because they're committing Almer all the way across to really close things in on the wide channel.
Novant Health is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Carolina Ascent FC. With same and next day sick visits, Novant Health provides care when and where you need it. Schedule online at novanthealth.org. Pass slightly under hit from Baisden. Porter pressing from behind. Can't take it off the foot of Katie Murray.
That's a good battle between those two, don't you think? Between Porter and Murray, they've both been really good, both disruptive. I like seeing them go at it.
They've had to put the effort in against one another,
Yes.
and when the other has the ball, not quite able to take it off them. Vigiano, it's well tackled in the end from Aguilera. Kicks it off for opposing forward. It's a goal kick now for Carolina.
And that'll be a goal kick, Carolina.
And I was talking about those spaces on the side of the six, the holding mid, on the side of Almer, where they need to find the ball. And I think Joe Johnson, it's safe to say, knew that that was a space that they could be exposed in. Corbin or Sarepka dropping down, and she's come out in the second half and really protected that by putting Canales a little lower as well. And so they're not really able to find that space. It's going to have to be switching and changing the point if the Ascent want to be in possession of the ball.
Murray commits the foul, trying to win it off Josie Studer. What does that do to your build-up when Spokane front, you bring a player down in Canales?
It can be difficult at times, but they want to stop that turning and being able to break lines off the dribble in a central area from the Carolina Ascent. So they're solving that first, it looks like, but then Canales has to join and make a vertical run so they can get more numbers above the ball if they want to possess. But what have we seen most of today? That direct ball into Emma Jaskinek, and then that's the ball that they're looking to play more often, so it doesn't hurt them too much.
On the attack now, Carolina. Baisden, a few options ahead of her. Jesus went in for Sarepka. In the end, just a little bit of strength shown by Sarah Clark. Sees it out of play, and it's a goal kick for Spokane. Elsewhere in the USL ecosystem, USL League One playoffs going on. In Madison, Forward Madison 0, Spokane Velocity 0. Pair of first-year clubs with the Velocity and Zephyr. After a really emphatic 3-0 win over the Northern Colorado Hailstorm, Velocity trying to continue their upset run in the USL League One playoffs. Driving into the box, Ekic trying to get the scoring started for her side. Baisden wanted a handball. We'll get a throw in.
And it's clear the pressing's just different from Spokane right now. They're running forward at speed when there's any ball bouncing, any ball that's not controlled right away. Good cover from Studer defensively, but I think that's the big difference we're seeing. They're not content to just sit in and play in a mid-block defensively. They're now wanting to press and be on the front foot a little bit more.
And if you look at if this match stayed as it is, who would the point be better for? You'd say Spokane on the road against top of the table, but they're not content with just that 1 point, being very aggressive second half.
I agree with that, and I just think from the general look of it, yes, on the road is very difficult, and they're going through a very hard stretch right now as far as having to play on the road for so many games, so you will take that. But for Carolina, they've hung their hat really and built this team on being hard to beat, and so that's going to be something they can use as a catalyst as well.
That's going to be a free kick, just stretching for that challenge.
A little bit of frustration and questioning right there from Marley Canales coming in, and she does get the ball, but it is her trail leg that makes the contact. I think it's a little bit harsh because the ball had already gone by, and there was an initiation by the defender in that moment.
I think if the studs are raised, of course you're bringing that up, but I agree with you. I think that was definitely dove in to try and win it. Did win it. A little bit late as well. Does go against Spokane and Canales. That's going to be pushed from behind. Another foul going against the visitors.
I will say, though, calling that in the middle third where there's no clear advantage either way and keeping the game in check is smart from our center official as well, because you don't want it to get out of hand from a combative standpoint either, and so you pick your moments.
No yellow cards given out to either side. Some fouls, of course, between the two teams, but a clean match up to this point. Aguilera, deep free kick service into the 18-yard box, pushed along. Baisden going one-on-one with Ekic to the end line, puts it into the area, and it's going to be a goal kick. Well, every Wednesday, listen to USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. Follow along all season long on the SiriusXM app. See some changes now can be made for Spokane. Molly Ruse and Jenny Vetter both preparing to come into the match. Vetter starting last time out, made way for Ekic. Comes on after 66 minutes.
And we have some substitutions for Spokane Zephyr. Number 4, Jennifer Vetter, in for number 3,
Emma Jaskinek from the PA, one of the players making way.
And she's done a lot of work in there. It is not easy to pin the two center backs and really keep them occupied. So probably a needed sub because of all the running she's been doing in behind the back line and checking in to try to absorb pressure for the front line.
Jaskinek came the closest. Katie Murray, the other player to make way. All substitutions tonight are brought to you by Nucor. That's a free kick going the way of Carolina. Makes a deflection along the way, does break through. Corbin steps across, has Baisden to stretch play. Corbin on the overlapping run, fires it into the box. Two players challenging for it. And it's gonna bounce away. Goal kick now for Spokane.
And great job by Cummings in the defensive box right there with that header, but this is really good from Corbin. She's been given a real free role within this system, gets around the outside, plays a really good ball across, cutting it back so that doesn't give the goalkeeper a chance. Cummings just gets in the way, Bedoya not able to connect after that confrontation, but I like this from the Carolina Ascent, and we're starting to see Mia Corbin drop even a little bit deeper, and Coach Philip Poole talked about that. She really can play anywhere, centrally up top, in the midfield in the attack. She can go into the holding mid. She's starting to float a little bit more just to try to get on the ball.
Ball went out of play on the far side. It's a throw in now for the Ascent. Corbin. Ekic now. That's going to be a foul from behind, a free kick, and the first yellow card of the match will go the way of Riley Baisden.
And the crowd not happy, but that's an obvious yellow card. There's a lot of space to be able to take right there, and it's a tactical foul, just bringing her down. A little trip right in the moment there as Ekic is trying to expose space in the counterattack.
All cards tonight brought to you by Apollo Law. Let's go down to the third member of our crew, Anna Whitty, for more on Carolina's attack.
Coach Poole said the first 3 to 4 games, Carolina was creating chances. However, they needed to be better chances. Carolina's really seen improvement in that because they've had a variation in goals and goal scorers with 7 different goal scorers so far this season. Tonight, Carolina has only had 1 shot on target, and that happened in the first half. Not much to be created yet here in the next second half.
And what that speaks to is you don't know where the attack is going to come from the Carolina Ascent. That's hard for Spokane Zephyr to deal with because they have played well but haven't really built into that attacking third yet. But certainly it's not going to be the end of them for this attack so far in this game.
Philip Poole described them as a side that you really can't label them as a team that scores in one way or another. It's a threat, certainly. 13 goals across the season up to this point, conceded just 6. Very good ratio in that sense. Sarepka trying the ball forward. It's blocked. Actually, last touching Sarepka. And Spokane get the throw in. Ball forward. Flag does go up. McClellan clearing it away. Referee will pull play back. Another one of those offside decisions for Spokane where you say surely has to be offsides.
Well, what's interesting about what Vetter did in this moment, there was an obvious pass just to keep possession to the outside back, but you can tell there was instructions, look to play it long when Carolina Ascent is in their expansive shape, and she certainly looked to do that.
Very aggressive pass. Jenny Vetter making her 9th appearance of the USL Super League season. On for Emma Jaskinek a few moments ago. It's in the midfield, Haley Thomas. Julianne Valorant, a throw in, aiming for Vetter. Pass touching Spokane. Good strength shown in the midfield. It's pushed along. Riley Baisden, Studer overlapping. Baisden opting to move centrally. Rolls it along DeMarco. Baisden offers a return option, lays it off. Low shot saved by High C after Ashlyn Sarepka had the low effort.
And the movement and interchange from Carolina Ascent is what makes them so dangerous. They always look so calm and composed in that final third. They're not in any rush to go forward. They allow the delayed run from Ashlyn Sarepka to develop, and that's what aids this opportunity on frame. She strikes it pretty well, just not enough power on this ball to test High C in goal.
Anna mentioned only 1 shot on target on the match coming in the first half. That one the second now for Carolina. Still no changes made by Philip Poole and the Ascent. We'll see if that changes as we cross into the final 17 minutes of our match this evening. Disallowed goal in the first half for Jada Bedoya. A crossbar and a post strike in the first half as well. Both teams coming very, very close to scoring. Inches offsides, inches on the placement of the shot. Still scoreless in the second meeting this season between Carolina and Spokane.
And what we've seen from Spokane has really been a defensive effort, and I don't mean they're dropping back, just really focused defending. They haven't generated a lot going forward, but they've frustrated Carolina so far in the second half.
Aguilera carrying it forward. Low shot with the right, it's blocked, spins away. Bedoya rather, keeps the press going, clipped away. That will be Aguilera who gets on the end of it. Clean challenge, strong one put in. Sarepka felt that it was a high challenge coming her way. Nothing given. Bruce returns it to Aguilera.
This is what you wonder, is there's going to be some fatigue for Spokane Zephyr. They had a clear moment they could have pressed in that wide channel over there, didn't do it. Valorant decides to stay in the back line. It's a decision you have to make, but this is what happens. It allows Ascent to play forward.
Studer rolls it forward. Baisden returns it. Studer just clips it into the area. On the second attempt, able to be claimed by Heisey. Shades of the first half when coming for that ball in, doesn't quite claim it on the first try.
And that was better by Heisey coming a little bit more. There wasn't as much hesitation. Baisden really smart in possession, recycles. DeMarco could have done a little better with this, just more pace on the ball. Mia Corbin almost times that well, but Heisey has enough pressure on her and enough defenders around her to throw her off.
Clark over the top, aiming for Vetter. It's poked back. McClellan, first time away. Corbin trying to bring it down. It's now Sydney Cummings. On the attack, low delivery. Ekic, back post, just wide. It's a goal kick. Amina Ekic comes so close again to breaking open the scoring.
And it's that back post switch of point. Good build-up play right here in the wide channel. Vetter plays it across, and Ekic is just going here, tries to leave her feet. She does leave her feet. She just can't get her hips around it to that back post area.
Ekic, bit of sporting behavior from Megan McClellan, just stretching the opposing forward. Talked about Amina Ekic, was on international duty with Bosnia and Herzegovina, missed the last 2 games. Talking to Joe Johnson about her availability, her fitness. She got in earlier this week, just after the team got back from Brooklyn and their travel, saying that they were going to use her every minute they could. Amina Ekic, a player that really offers a lot of options. Getting stretched out. They'll see if she needs to be taken out of the match or if they can get her for the final 10+ minutes.
Well, they'll certainly hope that she can stay in this game, but you can just tell the intensity of the game. It's been very up and down for a 0-0 game. They're covering a lot of ground. Both teams are good in possession, but looking to go forward, and she's made a lot of those runs back and forth defensively, joining the attack again, and so definitely a lot of effort put into this game from the winger.
Let's hear more from Anna Whitty down on the sideline.
Earlier this week, USL recognized the USLPA as a labor third-party law for the USL Super League players. The USL Super League is going to later on combine a committee from players around the league. Eventually, they will be able to put together a CBA that will define the terms of employment for the players in the league moving forward. President Amanda Vandervoort said the league is for the players, and this is putting money where their mouth is this early on, just less than 3 months into the league's first ever game. This gives players an opportunity to have self-advocate for themselves and for what they believe in. Coach Johnson also added, this just holds us accountable and the players accountable as well.
Good stuff, Anna. Again, the league continuing to develop and evolve. A great security for the players.
Absolutely, and everything that the league is doing, they're doing it quickly, and they're doing it in this first season, and they're not waiting for it to happen, and I love to see that.
Coming into the match now for Carolina, the first sub of the match, Jada McGrew. Ashlyn Sarepka will be the player making way. So the young Jada McGrew, 17 years of age, on a USL Academy contract. Future FSU Seminole. 10+ minutes. What a time it would be to get a first professional goal. She flicks on the initial ball forward. That's brought to you by Nucor.
Well, McGrew and I both going to be watching that ACC final tomorrow. The Tar Heels taking on Florida State, so I think we'll be watching for different reasons, though.
I wonder who you're pulling for there, Casey.
I wonder.
Here's Sydney Studer. Just over 10 minutes, under 10 minutes now. We tick past 80. After an open first 45 minutes, some chances for both sides. We saw the closest opportunity a few moments ago. Amina Ekic, her shot going just wide.
And this is a spell of possession that's really important with Studer in there because they are down to 10 players as they figure out how to manage Ekic in this moment. So they're going into this low block formation. Just want to try to keep play in front of them while they go through these couple minutes.
It's a great point you make, Casey. It is 10 versus 11. Spokane temporarily outnumbered. Spokane are prepping a sub. Looks like the night is over for Amina Ekic. They'll hope that it's just a small cramp issue coming back after that international break for her. And anything more serious. This throw-in offers a chance for that sub to take place. Jody Ukekul will come on. Alyssa Bourgeois as well, preparing to come into the match. Ukekul coming in for Amina Ekic. Julianne Valorand will make way. Alyssa Bourgeois. Fourth change now made by Joe Johnson in Spokane. Like for like in that defensive position right back.
Definitely, and Valorant's had to do a lot of work, especially for the first 25-30 minutes of the second half, a role that really involved a lot of pressing and involved a lot of going forward, so it makes sense to make that sub at this moment, especially on the road, trying to see out these last 10 minutes. But she was a big part of why Spokane was so efficient in that first part of the second half.
It's going to be a goal kick. Good strength shown by Aguilera.
And that'll be a goal kick, Carolina Ascent.
Well, the inaugural USL Super League season has officially begun. Visit USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into all things Super League. Well-weighted pass forward. Inviting run made. It's cleared away. Roos will get on the end of it, or try to at the very least. Sees it out for a throw-in. Roos, low ball, blocked. It's going to be a corner. Not seen a ton of those in our match here today. It'll be number 5 now for Spokane, just 1 for Carolina.
We talked earlier about dominating the 18s. That's what Spokane wanted to do, and this is a clear moment where if they could do that, they've been really good so far on both ends, but this is a moment that could be the separator.
Marley Canales stands over this corner. Canales fires it into the box. Cummings, the header, goes wider rather than towards goal. It's just pushed along. No nonsense from Baisden. It's a throw-in. Spokane side that are searching for a first road win in club history. Beginning to put things together. 9 points through 9 games. Currently slated for a 10th in their 10th game. Falls in the box, claimed by McClelland. Carolina would stay unbeaten. Studer Sydney Studer to Josie Studer. Loses out, strong challenge put in. Clark. Center back partner Cummings. Probing ball forward. He's going to find the run of Vigiano. Porter looking at runners. Strong head put in, first time trying to knock it down, pushed wide. Falls again for Baisden. Moved along, McGrew. McGrew driving into the box. It's poked away.
But the change of point is what's working for Carolina Ascent. Every time they get the ball on one side, they need to look to the other side. Spokane is very much overshifted defensively and committing pressure to the ball, so continue to look for that.
Fired into the area. Brought down, edge of the 18. McGrew stands it up to the back post. It makes its way. Aguilera. She wants a corner kick here, and she'll get it. Smart play from the left back, just sees it out, and it's a set piece chance now, less than 5 minutes to go.
There was nothing to gain from her body position going out of bounds towards the corner flag. Just see if you can get yourself an opportunity. Now you can get players up, get organized. Just a veteran move from her, and I think that's great you picked up on that because it's a small thing, but it gives them a great opportunity.
Riley Baisden. Another Carolina corner kick brought to you by Nucor. Baisden, joint team lead, 3 assists on the season so far. In swinging corner. It's pushed up by Vigiano. Maybe a chance now on the break here. Numbers getting forward for Spokane. Laid forward, Vetter. Can she get it out of her feet? It's a foot race, one-on-one. The shot, it's saved. In the end, Jenny Vetter trying to go all on her own. Got something towards goal, but Megan McClelland easily able to claim. Over the top. Spokane, flag stays down, 3-on-3 cut back for Vetter, and it's just wide.
And this is a great opportunity for Spokane. They're catching Carolina in transition. Carolina's pushing to try to win this game, but it's going the opposite way because they're playing direct. Vigiano makes a great run in. I love that first touch to cut the angle, and Vetter's got to do better with that. It's right in front, left foot. She just opens up a little bit too much, doesn't get the power.
Jenny Vetter, an accomplished goal scorer, Division II level in the NCAA with Minnesota State, 57 goals from 2018 to 2022. Third in program history with that mark, but she just couldn't quite get her feet sorted, get that shot on frame at the very least. Now the expected goals number still slightly favors Carolina, but from my vantage point, as it's turned over here, we'll get back to that in a moment. From distance, the shot goes just wide. It's a goal kick. And it's Riley Baisden's turn to have a crack, and that one going just wide.
And those are the moments that it's just a little detailed. You want to force a goalkeeper to make a save. They just made a mistake, given you the ball, coughed it up in build-up, and then you hit it wide. Sometimes you're looking to be too perfect, and I understand it as a former midfielder myself, but you just got to force the save, and maybe there's a rebound.
That expected goals number still slightly favoring Carolina. Surprising to me a bit, Casey. I feel like some of the better chances have fallen the way of Spokane, who have done a really good job getting over the top.
I think they've been a little more dangerous with their chances. There's just been more activity in the final third for Carolina, but they've been more half chances that haven't forced saves from High C.
We're sitting on second half stoppage time. Low ball, McClelland claims. Threaded through the middle, aiming for Vetter. Flag goes up. It's a free kick for Carolina.
Great defending by Studer. If that flag hadn't gone up, she had great position because that was initially a very good ball in behind.
Spokane have done a good job of getting those balls into their center forward. Dangerous over the top. Some of them offsides, of course. Some of those the flag has stayed down for. Swung across to McGrew. Gets past one challenge into the 18-yard box. Plays it centrally. Just can't quite get the proper contact towards frame.
But it was really well done joining the attack, and you can just see the 1v1 isolation of McGrew. This is where you want her at her best. She draws her in, gets around her. Thomas isn't able to recover, and sliding through the box is Porter, and just isn't able to direct it on frame, and it throws everyone else off, but you gotta love the commitment to get in the box.
4 minutes, second half stoppage time, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of NC. 4 more minutes in our match this evening. Driving onto the right foot from distance. The shot parried away and on top of the net. What a crack there from Jody Ukekel. And it's a good save from Megan McClelland to keep things 0-0.
And this is an incredible save in this moment. Spokane gets in between the lines in the half space, just going off the dribble in this moment. It's a great strike. And look at this, putting it right over. Just gets enough of a wrist on that and a touch to get it over the crossbar.
Canales. Corner kick delivery. Unchallenged. With a loose ball falls in favor of Spokane. The shot deflected. McClelland gratefully falls on it moments after her big save.
And that's really important from McClelland because Carolina has built into the game. They've just been down in their final third. It can be easy to check out in that moment, but that's what you're called upon. Not just consistency, which is the first thing you want from your goalkeeper, but the ability to come up with a big save in a moment when you need him.
Spokane threaded through, aiming for Vetter. It's blocked. Ukekel lays it off. Vetter, the low shot off the left post. Crossbar, right post, left post. They've hit all three. Spokane have not hit the back of the net.
And they can't believe it. This is incredible that it's going off the post again. A good ball in behind. Ukekel does a great job finding her teammate in that wide space. It goes off the post. It's Vetter again, causing problems, but just not able to put that finishing touch on it.
Not quite able to get her first goal for Spokane. Into the 18-yard box. Header flicked along. Vigiano gets to it, keeps it in play. Pushed to Vigiano. Gets there. Into the box, slight deflection claimed by McClelland.
Well, to your point earlier, Jack, it's the type of chances that Spokane is generating. It may not be in the attacking third very often, but they've been direct, their decision-making's been good, and they've been clear opportunities to go up.
One minute left. Over the top. Jaden McGrew. Step overs. Onto the left foot. DeMarco turns into a bit of space. Baisden has McGrew. What can she pick out here? It's blocked. Returns right back to her. Josie Studer clipped into the area over the head of Corbin. Mia Corbin. Good tackle put in. One back by Spokane, trying to immediately break for Vetter, but it's turned back over. Maybe one last attack now for Carolina. DeMarco, we've had the 4. How much more will Eric Tattersall allow in the match? Porter. Studer. To the end line, trying to maybe draw a corner kick. Can't do that. And it ends scoreless. Carolina 0, Spokane 0. A lot of chances in that match. No goals, Casey. What a match it turned out to be.
This is such an interesting one to really generate your feelings about, because I think going on the road, Spokane is going to be happy coming away with the point, but the way the game ended and the chances they generated, I think they're going to feel a little bit bummed out by it as well, because they easily, with those last few chances, could have snagged 3 points against the league-leading team in Carolina, and Carolina still played well. It wasn't like they didn't have a good performance, so it's an interesting one for me.
It's a second point on the road now for Spokane. Carolina stay unbeaten. We can look at some of the big moments of our match before we talk to some players after this one. First now, our save of the match in this one presented by Train Tech. It was a great distance late on.
This was incredible. Ukekel just lines up. I thought this was in. It's going right into that upper corner, but nope, McClellan says no thank you. Puts it over the top. That's what she has to do. It took one pass in that moment, and Ukekel is denied by the Carolina Ascent keeper.
So close to a spectacular goal for Jody Ukekel for her first for Spokane. We can now look at our play of the match presented by Piazza Appliance Mart for Carolina.
And this was just a lot of build-up play. This is what Carolina Ascent did, and this was one of their best opportunities. They had build-up and build-up throughout this entire game. Ashlyn Sarepka gets on the ball and forces a save from Heisey. They just weren't able to find the back of the net, but wonderful build-up through the entirety of the game.
Those were your save and play of the match in a 0-0 draw between Carolina and Spokane. Second match, meeting of the season between these two sides. It was a good one in the end. In the end, a 0-0 draw between the two sides. We can go now to Anna Whitty, who's with Taylor Almer after the draw.
Taylor, your team gets a point out of this away match. You guys created so many chances. What needs to happen in the match on Wednesday to convert those into goals?
I think, it's taking this game and moving forward with it. This is, I think, the most chances we've created in the last few of our games. So sticking with that, positive step forward, and now it's just like the execution in front of goals to put one of those away.
You're described as QB1 by your coach in the midfield. You've helped this team create success centrally. How do you continue to build on that?
I think for us, it's just continuing to implement the way that we want to play, the style we want to play, and just communicating. I mean, if we're all on the same page, as you can see tonight, we create, and it's good soccer.
Thank you, Taylor. Good luck Wednesday.
Thank you.
0-0 between Carolina and Spokane. Fireworks going off after the 0-0 draw. After this break, we can take a look at our full-time highlights and see how we got to this final result between Carolina and Spokane. Tonight's match and Salute to Service Night is presented by Nucor. Nucor Corporation is the safest, highest quality, lowest cost, most productive, and most profitable steel and steel products company in the world. Nucor is the official sponsor of the Carolina Ascent FC. Fireworks post-game festivities after a 0-0 draw between the Carolina Ascent FC and Spokane Zephyr FC. We can look now at tonight's player of the match presented by Nucor, Giovanna DeMarco, after the 0-0 draw.
As this game played out, it becomes clear why DeMarco was so important. Spokane loves to go in the counterattack. The holding mid play of DeMarco was essential in stopping that counterattack, and her simplicity in possession, so good on the ball, helped Carolina Ascent in their middle third.
A really competitive match between these two sides. It finished, of course, in the draw. We can look now at tonight's match highlights, which are presented by Nucor. There were chances aplenty for both teams, Casey, to try and take the full 3 points in our match. We'll go to the 19th minute now. It's a disallowed goal here. Really great build-up, finding Bedoya at the back post.
This is quintessential Carolina Ascent. Really good build-up through the central channels, exposing the wide space, and then it's your two wingers connecting. It is so incredibly close. Bedoya does put it away, but it is disallowed, as you mentioned. But Spokane would start to get into the game through the play of Jaskinik getting forward more vertically, plays the ball across to Amina Ekic, and it goes right off the crossbar.
A lot of chances for Emma Jaskinik in that center forward role. So close on that attacking move there. 72nd minute now. We jump to the second 45. Some good attacking moves as well. We mentioned this as our play of the game. Moved across well, finds Ashlyn Sarepka.
Just really good play in that final third, letting Ashlyn Sarepka join the attack, getting her the ball on her right foot, which she loves. Not the pace she would want, but still a good opportunity on frame. And then in the 77th minute, Spokane would start to work their way back into this, finding some space in the outside. It's Vetter playing it across, and a back post run again, this time for Spokane. Amina Ekic just not able to direct it on frame.
Amina Ekic on her return from international duty, just not quite able to get across to that one. 86th minute now. Again, Spokane looking at a side that was the more likely of the two to try and potentially score that goal. Driving forward on her own, Jenny Vetter just trying to get a shot towards goal.
And you can see why she has started some games. Really good pace going forward, a nose for goal. Just Josie Stutter does just enough to put enough pressure on her to cause that.
91st minute now. Mention this as our save of the match. Jody Ukekel drives onto the right foot, thinks when it leaves her foot that's a goal. Good save by McClellan.
It was incredible from both sides. Good build-up play. Ukekel looks like she knows exactly what she wants to do, trying to hit it with pace into that upper corner, but McClellan says no thank you and gets it over the crossbar.
McClellan keeps a league record 6 clean sheet on the season. Some late chances. This one, another good one. Finds Vetter. Her shot finds the post.
It's incredibly close, wasn't it?
Incredibly close. Full-time stats here are presented by Nucor. 0-0 the score, 13-9 the shot. Discrepancy does not include the 3 times they hit the woodwork for Spokane.
I think both of these coaches and staffs will want to work on that shots on target, only 2 and 3 respectively, and like you said, 3 of those being the posts and the crossbar for Spokane. The possession relatively close in this game.
Final takeaways for you, Casey.
I think a good point on both sides. It's a really even match, and both teams are going to use this as motivation going forward.
Full-time score, Carolina 0, Spokane 0. Spokane will head right to Lexington, continue their road trip with a Wednesday encounter with Lexington SC. Carolina next traveling at Tampa Bay 1 week from now, and they continue their USL Super League campaign. Well, for Casey White, Anna Whitty, our producer, Maria Ringo, I'm Jack Edwards saying so long from Charlotte, North Carolina. A full-time score between the Ascent and Zephyr. Carolina 0, Spokane 0. Have a great rest of your Saturday night.